room. So as the judge here, she's going to come in and she's going to touch your cow. She's probably going to ask you questions at this point. She's going to ask you all the things that we just talked about. It's very important to keep eye contact with your judge, okay, guys? So now that she has touched this cow, she's more than likely going to go around your cow. That is your key time to put your comb out and comb like Megan just did. I see a lot of showmen, as soon as the judge touches them and that judge is sitting there talking to you, you're trying to comb your cow. I know you're excited to get that point and showmanship down, but it's super key, important that you actually just wait a second, okay? Give yourself time to let the judge have that conversation and then go in and comb your cow.
Oh, we should talk about standing in front of them, how it ruins their silhouette of your back or their neck. Go ahead. All right, so as she said, my name is Mackenzie, and I've been showing cattle for a couple years now. So one thing I do want to touch on that Christine talked about a little bit is while you're standing at the front of this heifer or steer, you don't want to stand. Megan, can I have you stand kind of like at her neck? Like, yeah. You don't want to stand there because it's going to mess with the silhouette. So the silhouette is kind of how they look and how they profile. So when she's standing kind of in front of the heifer's face, it doesn't give her that really, really nice look. But if she comes and stands back out like she was, you can see that you can see all parts of the heifer, and Megan standing there behind her is not ruining what the judge is looking at. Anything else? Oh, that's a good one.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. All right, so another thing is how you want to hold the halter.
Megan, do you want to turn yourself to face that?
Yeah. So when you are set up, I'll give her a minute. You want to make sure that your hand that is closest to the face of that heifer, your wrist is up, okay? That is going to give you guys more leverage, and then you're not kind of standing here awkwardly trying to pull their head up with your elbow, like up at your face. And then if she would go and walk, you're going to have your hand down. So you guys see that transition? So when you're standing there and you're setting them up, your wrist is going to be up, and I like to tuck my elbow into the top of my hip. That way I have a little bit more leverage with their heads. And then as you're walking, your hands are up. Yep. Do we want to talk about transitioning the show stick? Because I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. You just let us know whenever you...
Yeah, just tell. All right, ready?
Yeah. So the next thing that we're going to kind of discuss a little bit about is I know that a lot of the younger showmen kind of have a lot of issues with transitioning your stick and your lead rope. So what Christine's going to do is she's going to, while she's getting ready to stop, do you see she's walking forward, she turns around and puts both of her hand and her show stick in the same, her lead and her show stick in the same hand. And then you guys can kind of switch hands. So I don't know if you want to, more towards there so they can see it. So she has her show stick in her left hand, and she's going to walk, and then whenever she's getting ready to set up, she's going to put her show stick in her right hand. Yep. Maybe. But did you guys see that? Okay. Okay. Is there anything else? Are we missing anything? You want to do bow backs? Like
Pointing and tails, that's probably a good one.
Ooh, that is a good one. Pointing and tails. Do you want to do that? Maybe just tail? Right here? Like a tail. Alright, so one last thing I think that we're going to cover is same heifers and steers like to hold their tails out. I had one that liked to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to get them set, and then you're going to take your show stick, and you see how Christine has the end of the show stick? You're going to just lightly touch the back, the back of her tail, and then that's going to make them to put it down. that, so she doesn't like that. This is why show stick size is so important, because you have to be able to reach those back legs and her tail if possible. This is definitely something that you want to work on at home, so if you get one and they like to stick their tail out, I would recommend working on that at home when they're babies, so that way, if it does happen, then they're used to it.
She wanted to be a rabbit there for a minute. Alright. Anything else?
Does anybody have any questions? I have got no questions today, so I really want a question. Yes. No, absolutely not. That's a terrible question, because you asked that. I have to have a question. What? Super important part that we just got was shoes. Okay, I am a ship showman because it was a ship boat. Everything showman, I don't know if a ship with the shoes on it is or boots or whatever. I also come in boots. Okay, that is super important. It is so tacky. We want to come in the show with sandals on to a super big safety concern. I'm not saying you have to run out there and get steel toe boots or anything like that. I'm just saying nice boots that are going to save your feet more than the sneakers you're going to.
Anything else? Anything else? Are we good?
I still don't get a question. Yes. Well, hold on. Your question doesn't matter. This question matters here.
Because your question is about going home. That was my first question.
What about like average training time on a daily basis?
That is a really good question. Okay, so Megan probably had this hair first since she was a baby, or her son Ray has had this hair first since she was a baby. Most of us, I think, at least here, all have them as calves because we have their moms. I think the biggest thing for us is, I was going to say, let's say our steers. Okay, you get your steers in like May, or March, I would say. You probably get your steers. The average time for training, I would say, is at least 30 minutes a day. Okay, I know these sheep you guys can like work with once or twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever works for you. Cattle are very much bigger animals. I think it's really, really important that you are working every day with these animals. I think working every day with all your animals is super important. But cattle in general, you want those cows to trust you. You have to trust them. I would say at least 30 minutes a day of just walking and setting up.
Yeah.
All right, I guess since nobody else wants to ask this question. Okay, do you guys have a question about any of the species that you guys saw today? We have probably the best knowledge kids here. To the around here. I need a question. You're not going home until I get another question. Do you guys think this was helpful? Raise your hand. Good, good. Hannah Bernice, that was terrible. No. If we did this again, what would you like to see different? Yes. Okay, hold on. All right, what's your question? Or what's your thing? I want to do pigs. Okay, that is a good, valid point.
Pigs.
Okay, that's a valid point too. Anybody else?
My brother. No.
Chicken.
Chickens? Okay. Anybody else have any other recommendations? Recommendations. Oh, you have one? You have feeder calves? Okay, big thing. But we can talk about that right now. Feeder calves are the same thing as steers. So what we just tell you right now with the heifer is the same exact thing as a feeder calf. Literally the same exact thing. So what you just saw was what you would do with a feeder calf, okay, bud?
Do you show guinea pigs?
I personally don't care. I don't really know. Can you? Answer just said that you can. Apparently they're at the rabbit shows, so they're the first shipping for kid to do it. Okay? Seriously. Thank you, and you may leave.
Taylor Wagner. Taylor Wagner. Come to the show ring, please. Taylor Wagner.